Hi everyone, what's up, AB Scott? This is your boy Abbas. Welcome, yay! Welcome to the family. Welcome to this amazing family. Like guys, I am always so excited. I am always so happy to welcome you guys back on this channel every single time. So I'm here to check out a different one, a very new and a special video for you guys. So if you know you're ready, do well to smash the like button, join the family, join AB React. Yes, AB React, by clicking on your subscribe button and also your notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. Alright, every squad, there is no time to waste. Let's check this out.
Joining us now, NBC's Mark Murray, Victoria de Francesco Soto, Dean of the Clinton School of Public Service and an MSNBC and NBC News contributor, and former Republican Congressman of Florida, Carlos Curbelo, an NBC News political analyst. Victoria, what kind of a precedent do you think this set?
We're in unprecedented times politically, Jose, so it's tough to answer that one clearly, but I will say that the political atmosphere sets the stage, right? As we saw in the latter part of the campaign where Donald Trump said he would go after folks he considered enemies, I think that sets the stage for why President Biden made this decision. That being said, I think from the framing perspective, there's the question of why didn't you rhetorically allow for some wiggle rooms? I think that is a lot of the frustration that Democrats are voicing right now.
Yeah, I mean, Democratic Congressman Greg Stanton wrote, quote, "I respect President Biden, but I think he got this one wrong. This wasn't a politically motivated prosecution. Hunter committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers." Carlos, what do you make of this pardon? And the fact is that for nearly, a year, the president was saying he was not going to do this.
Also, for those who care about the institutions of the United States, the perception of integrity, the trust which these institutions rely on, this is just devastating. I mean, Democrats said that they were different, that people should choose them over Donald Trump because, unlike Donald Trump, according to them, they did not use the institutions of government for their personal gain or benefit. This really, I think, erases any advantage that Democrats had on this issue. Obviously, it was not a decisive issue because Trump won anyway, but now this looks like a massive hypocrisy, and I think it's going to continue damaging the Democratic brand.
Why? This isn't the first president to pardon a family member. It's certainly not the first president who has pardoned someone who could be considered somewhat controversial.
But the context matters here, Jose. President Biden said he would not do this. This was a major campaign issue in the 2024 election. Democrats said that this is something that distinguished them from Republicans and Donald Trump. And now I think most Americans are going to view them as being in the same bucket, people who are using the institutions of government for their own personal gain to protect their families.
And Mark, do you think there's a political cost to the president's decision?
Yeah, Jose, we're going to actually have to see in the polls that come over the next month or two, and I'm sure we're going to get plenty of polls that are going to gauge the popularity or unpopularity of this particular action. I am kind of reminded after Bill Clinton's presidency, after he ended up having some controversial pardons of his own, he did take a hit in the polls that we ended up seeing, and it wasn't helpful for his party after they ended up losing the White House in that 2000 election, once they were in the wilderness to kind of deal with the repercussions of those controversial pardons. And so I think at the very least, we're seeing a Democratic Party that's now being put on the defensive and divided. And as Carlos was just saying, one of the debates that Democrats are going to have being out of power from the White House is, what does the Democratic Party stand for? We heard during the Biden years and even during the first Donald Trump term that the Democrats stood for the rule of law, stood for norms and institutions. And this action yesterday kind of ends up complicating that at the very least.
Hey, Mark, I want to turn back to the election a bit more for a moment. You have new reporting on what pollsters got right and what they got wrong in the lead up to the election?
Yeah, so Jose, almost all the ballots have now been counted. It took a while. And the conclusion is that the polls got more right than wrong. They weren't perfect, but when you look at the overall horse race, the final national polls, including in NBC's, showed a race that was either tied or incredibly close, and that's what the election turned out to be. Now, the polls might have understated Donald Trump's support by a little bit and overstated Kamala Harris by a little bit, but overall, and certainly compared with past presidential cycles, the polls were more right than wrong. And I think one of the biggest lessons from this election season and in past ones is that polls can't be precise instruments, that you end up having a 49-49 or 49-48 result. That's not necessarily going to say, the polls are going to say, hey, we're going to predict that. All it can tell us that the election is really close and uncertain, and that's what that election turned out to be.
Okay, I want to ask, did he break the rule or did he break the law? Because I think from these people's point of view, a lot of people are actually saying that he said something and he's not doing what he said. So I think, for me, I think he is actually breaking the law for the family, or come on, I don't know, because when you actually say something and then you don't actually act to that, it simply means you're bringing in feelings. Yes, you're actually bringing in feelings. You're actually trying to protect someone. And of course, I think that's what Mr. President is doing. So, like I asked, what is the right thing for him to do? Do you think he did the right thing? Let me know in the comment section. Let's continue, guys.
And Victoria, what should Democrats take away from these findings as they look to move forward after the loss?
Well, first, let me underscore what Mark just said. Amen about the polling getting better and better. We live in a world of margin of error, and I think many times we would read the polls and forget about that. So I actually am quite happy at how the polls did in terms of predictive power, given all of the errors that we had seen in the last couple of elections. And one of the things that the polls demonstrated, Jose, and that it was actually an NBC Telemundo poll, which showed this early on, was the trend for Latinos. And I think that this is very much going to be the demographic to watch. We have known that Latinos have had swing tendencies, but this election really defined Latinos as a swing electorate. And we saw this in the polls. We saw this in the electoral results. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Donald Trump engages with Latinos, especially that new electorate that he added on, that 20, 30 percentage points, to see how they stick with him or decide, you know what, never mind, I'm going to try something else.
Yeah, that, Carlos, is, just one of the big takeaways was, and I'm just quoting here, like, for example, one of the interviews that we held after the election, Latino men repeatedly said they want relief from the rising cost of living and more job and business opportunities. They felt that at this election, those better job and business opportunities were with Donald Trump. Is that something you think that could be a lasting shift or just a wait and see?
Well, also what it means is that the pressure is on for Donald Trump and Republicans, because these are new supporters. A lot of these people voted Republican for the first time ever, and they want to see results. Number one issue for them, the economy. This is complicated for Donald Trump because some of his early proposals, like tariffs, mass deportations, they could actually lead to more inflation. So if Republicans want to solidify this Latino support, I think culturally they're in good position to do it. But economically, which is even more important, they really need to deliver for these voters. A lot of these Latino men especially, they want that upward mobility. They want to buy a home. They want to own a home as opposed to renting. They want to make more. So the pressure's on to deliver for this group, or they could easily swing back in the...
Guys, thank you. That was another interesting one. That was another video with so much thing to see. A lot of questions, a lot of opinions, a lot of things people were saying. Like I said, just let's go and interact. Let's go and say something. Let's go and share our own ideas, share our own thoughts on this video. And if you really enjoyed this video as much as I did, do also hit your like button, join the family, join AB React by clicking on your subscribe button and then on your notification bell so you don't miss whenever I upload videos. If you have recommendations, suggestions, guys, always do well to leave them right there in the comment section. All right, AB Squad, I'm always so happy to have you guys, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay positive, don't touch that dial, guys. I'll be right back. Bye, guys.